There's a place on Earth where light disappears, pressure crushes everything, and no human has ever set foot. Deep trenches, endless silence, and something that might be waiting. Because what lives down there in absolute darkness? For centuries, sailors returned with stories of monsters the size of islands, serpents wrapping around the world, shadows that swallow ships whole. Myths, some say, forgotten truths, say others. Ready to dive into the unknown? Keep watching, and if you crave the unexplained, don't forget to subscribe. Here are 7 of the most terrifying and mysterious sea creatures ever seen, or worse, never seen at all. 1. Ningen, the white giant of the frozen deep. They say it drifts beneath Antarctic ice, white as snow, shaped like a human, but not quite. The Ningen is a towering figure, up to 30 meters long, with no eyes, no mouth, just smooth skin and long, reaching limbs. First sighted by Japanese fishing crews, it vanishes the moment it's seen. No proof, no close-up. Just frozen silence and the unsettling idea that something human-like lives where no human should. 2. The Kraken beneath the surface, where sunlight dies and pressure crushes bone, something ancient stirs. Not a whale, not a squid, something bigger. A living island with eyes like windows and tentacles like towers. They called it the Kraken. In Old Norse tales, sailors spoke of boiling seas, no wind, no storm, just sudden chaos. That's how the Kraken arrived. And if you saw it, you were already dead. It was feared enough to be drawn on medieval maps with one simple warning. Here be monsters. What makes it worse? Giant squids are real, first filmed in the 2000s. Before that, we had scars on whales, shredded tentacles, and stories whispered in fear. Today, the Kraken lives on, in games, movies, and bottle labels. But the fear is real, because the deep sea is silent, dark, and vast beyond imagination. So maybe the real question isn't if the Kraken exists. Maybe it's why we're so sure it couldn't. 3. Yurungander. They say he sleeps, curled beneath the sea, his body so long it circles the earth and bites its own tail. Not out of hunger, but out of patience. Yurungander, the world serpent, son of Loki, brother to Hel and Fenrir. A creature so massive, so poisonous, that his rise means the end of everything, Ragnarok. In the final battle, he'll fight Thor, they'll kill each other. And then the world will fall. But this myth didn't appear from thin air. For centuries, Norwegians and Icelanders reported sea serpents longer than ships. Some described waves that moved without wind, others swore they saw eyes. Was it imagination or instinct? Today, Yurungander haunts games and sagas, but the terror he represents is timeless. Something impossibly big, slowly tightening around us, while we're too busy to notice, and when it finally moves, it's already too late. 4th, Megalodon. Once, nothing in the ocean was safe. Not whales, not dolphins, not even other sharks. Because something bigger hunted them all. Megalodon. Its name means giant tooth, and that's exactly what remains. Fossilized jaws the size of a car, teeth as big as human hands. This prehistoric shark stretched up to 60 feet, with a bite force that could shatter bone like twigs, and it hunted in silence. We've found its teeth across the world: Peru, Japan, the US. Some so well preserved they look recent. Could it still be out there? Science says no, but the ocean has trenches we've never seen, places without light, without cameras, without rules. So when people whisper, "What if Megalodon survived?" That's not fantasy. That's fear remembering something it never truly forgot. 5. Sea Eater. No splash, no storm, just still water, and then nothing. Sea Eater is its name, whispered by coastal fishermen in the north. It's not famous, it's not in textbooks, it's only known by the way it takes. Described as smooth and shapeless, like a seal without eyes, only a gaping, endless mouth. Sea Eater doesn't attack, it doesn't rage. It simply appears beneath your boat, and the boat is gone. No wreckage, no screams, just silence. As if the ocean itself made a decision. There are no photos, no survivors, just stories. Told by those who almost felt something rise beneath them. Who noticed the water go quiet too suddenly, and then kept sailing, or didn't. Today, Sea Eater lives only in whispers, forums, and the eyes of old men who don't like to talk about the sea. But sometimes, when the waves fall too still, it's hard not to wonder, did something just leave, or is it still waiting below? 6. Elrand Maha. No ancient scrolls, no folklore. Elrand Maha is modern, and that's what makes him terrifying. According to internet lore, he's over 2,000 feet long, rows of serrated teeth, 6 small ghostly eyes. A monster said to live deep in the Arctic trench, far beyond light or reach. The first rumors came with deep-sea sonar recordings, low, thunderous sounds. Scientists said it was ice shifting. Others weren't so sure. Then came blurry footage, a dark mass moving past a deep-sea camera. Too fast, too big, and suddenly gone. Elrand Maha isn't just a creature, he's a question. What did we almost see? What lives just outside the frame? Too real to ignore, too unreal to explain. He doesn't live in old stories. He lives in the gap between data and dread. And sometimes, that's the scariest place of all. 7. The Loch Ness Monster. Still water, cold mist, a ripple in the silence. And for a moment, something moves beneath the surface. In the Scottish Highlands lies Loch Ness, a lake so deep and dark it's said to be bottomless in places. Locals call it Nessie's home. Outsiders call it a mystery. But no one calls it boring. The first known sighting dates back to 565 AD, when St. Columba reportedly encountered a giant beast in the River Ness. But it wasn't until 1933, when a shadowy shape crossed the road in front of a couple's car, that the legend truly came alive. Then came the infamous surgeon's photo, a grainy image of a long-necked creature rising from the water. Years later, it was exposed as a hoax. But by then, Nessie had already escaped into the world's imagination. Since then, hundreds of sightings have poured in. Fishermen who saw humps moving through the fog. Sonar scans detecting large, moving objects deep below. Tourists capturing something unusual on camera, just enough to raise questions, never enough to silence doubt. Some scientists suggest it's just floating debris, light tricks, or waves caused by boats. Others believe it could be a misidentified giant eel, or a prehistoric creature that somehow survived extinction. But maybe that's not the point. Maybe Nessie doesn't have to be proven to be powerful. Because in a world drowning in facts, she represents something rare. A question no one can answer. A myth that won't die. A shadow we're still chasing. And in the black cold water of Loch Ness, maybe that's exactly how she survives. We've mapped the stars, but most of our oceans remain untouched. Creatures like the Kraken and Megalodon blur the line between fear and memory. Some, like the Sea Eater, don't need proof, just silence. Others, like Nessie, live in the spaces between sightings and doubt. Maybe these legends exist because we need them to. Because the unknown still terrifies us more than we like to admit. And in the deepest parts of the sea, where light dies and sound vanishes, who knows what waits in the dark?